hello World Wide Web, I'm Dr. Shado, the internet personality that's here. And hey, would you look at that? It's March. And I've been uploading my reviews on time for once. You know what that means. It's time for March of the Clowns, a little celebration of clown-themed horror, because for some reason this particular subgenre is surprisingly large. People tend to lean into the uncanny, creepy side of clowns, it seems, and to that end, the rather peculiar clown hotel, motel, gotel, well, it's got enough that it could fill out its own month-long special, honestly. Most of them having no relation to each other, as we see in today's review of Clown Motel Vacancies. Released in 2020, this is a horror movie about clowns at the Clown Motel. Except not the Clown Motel, not the actual Clown Motel. There's a Clown Motel movie called Clown Motel that takes place at the Clown Motel, but this Clown Motel is filmed on location at a motel that's called Clown Motel in the movie Clown Motel, but it's not actually the Clown Motel. That in Clown Motel was the Clown Motel in Clown Motel. So let's take a look at Clown Motel Vacancies and try and figure out what the hell I just said. We open on extreme close-ups with spooky clown music for the opening credits, letting us know right away this is a clown horror movie. And I do have to admit it to them, they really did put their best foot forward here, because it is a clown show from here on out. As we shift from eerie, clowny horrors to Canada! Honestly, not the wildest change. And introduce our lead, Tara, played by Kiana Passmore.
Hey, hun. Where are you?
Ah, yes, the very second one of these characters opens their mouths, the acting comes into question.
Well, I just had a couple things to get done, you know, so I don't think about it when I'm away.
Little Miss Perfect.
I mean, they say the lines, but I can't help but shake the feeling that there were better ways they could have said the lines. Several better ways they could have said it, but pretty much any way other than the way that they actually went with. Tara's friend here would be Christina, played by Momona Komagata, and the topic is on how Tara is going on vacation with her loving man, and just getting the last few bits of miscellaneous non-specific work out of the way beforehand.
Wedding, vacation, and maternity leave.
Yeah. Well, I'm really not looking forward to the whole birthing part, but, you know, it'll be good in the end.
Also, she's pregnant. Like, very pregnant. Probably gonna give birth sometime around when the plot says so. In any case, she's ready to head right out with her boy toy Shane, played by Daniel Dimer, and guess what?
I just got a call from work and I have to go back for a few hours just to finish up the deal. I'm sorry.
How did I know this was going to happen?
Opening of a horror movie. If shit ever went right, we wouldn't have a horror movie. Likewise, as most of these are idiot plots, we wouldn't have a horror movie without characters making asinine choices for no apparent reason. Tara refuses to just go with and wait in the lounge for a couple hours.
I'm very pregnant, very uncomfortable, and the last thing I want to do is sit there and wait for you.
Can you believe the audacity of this man? Asking me to sit somewhere. Maybe even for a while. As she refuses to take logical measures, he introduces a few illogical ones.
There's this motel nearby that I used to go to when I was a kid. What we can do, I can drop you off there on the way over, finish up work, come back, and then we can have some fun.
Sitting in the lobby? No. Sitting in the car? Not a chance. Sitting at a random hotel? Well, now we're talking. Good enough. So she agrees and they head out, establishing for the audience that he's running on fumes, but that's not nearly as important as just how much they truly love each other.
I'm sorry. I'll make it up to you, I promise.
Well, I can think of a couple of ways you can make it up to me.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good to me.
Oh baby, can't you feel the explosive sexual chemistry just emanating from this scene? Careful, you two. If this gets any hotter, California may have to label this as a carcinogen.
You know I love you.
Love you too.
It is enough to bring endless joy and optimism to my cold, dead heart. Anyway, by nearby, Shane meant way the fuck off the beaten path, following the signs to the Clown Motel.
It's sort of creepy. Not really feeling it.
Yeah, I don't know, it's weird. Definitely wasn't called Clown Motel when I came here as a kid.
It wasn't? Then why the fuck did you like going out to it so much as a kid? Oh, you're the youngins, they just can't get enough of hanging around the old Motel 6. No reason to stop now, though, right? Sure, the motel he remembers oh so fondly, for some odd reason, is now under new management, but that's still somehow better than spending time with loved ones. But once inside, they find...
Yeah.
someone else is watching a far better horror movie off in the other room. Lucky bastards.
Hello?
Obviously, there's no one here.
Lights are on, parking lot's full. You've waited a grand total of 3/4 of a second. Maybe give it a minute or two. Or 4 seconds as they near instantly meet Daddy, played by Darren Endrychuk. Shane's like, I need one room for the night. Then makes small talk like, boy, lots of cars out there despite very few cars on the road. You guys must get a lot of business.
Yeah, not really, sir. Most of our guests live with us. Loggers and tree planters. Every once in a while, we'll get a hooker that gets dumped out here. But it's kind of like winning the lottery.
I would think the people effectively living here would mean that business is better than good. I mean, when you have guests who are effectively tenants, that is a constant cash flow that you can kind of rely on. I mean, he's lying to them, but I'm just saying, it's not even a good lie. Though maybe their bad finances have to do with the fact that they don't accept plastic.
We're cash only.
Because when you set up your horror hotel to kill unsuspecting travelers, always be sure to just turn away over 90% of them at the door, just to keep things interesting. However, Daddy offers that they may stay the night, and in the morning, go off, find money, and pay. Works for Shane, but now Tara is having second thoughts. Come to think of it, the freaky-deaky motel in the middle of nowhere is kind of a shit idea. Shane's like, lady, I gotta get back to work, so we gotta do what we gotta do.
You don't have too many options, right? Right, I'll be quick.
Not as fast as you always are.
You're very funny.
But oh no, their fantastic sexual chemistry comes into question when it turns out she is actually dissatisfied with Shane in bed. What a twist. Well, point is they can't have a horror movie if they don't spend the night, so she agrees to stay here for now. It means they'll miss the wedding, but meaning her just coming to his workplace with him was even more of an obvious choice to make. Anyway, they got room 13. How spooky. When they enter, they find your average hotel room. How scary.
Can't wait for that.
Do you need anything before I go?
Well, I can think of a little something.
I meant more like food.
Oh, stop. These romantic sparks flying all over the place are going to drive me wild. So they love each other. Again. And he heads off to deal with that last deal while she deals with this raw deal of a shitty motel room. Sure, they got a TV, but wouldn't you know it, there's nothing on. Literally this time. With that in mind, she takes a quick little 4-hour power nap, waking up to one burning question.
Where the hell is he?
My guess, he saw the opportunity to get out of this movie and decided to say fuck it and leave. But oh darn it, her room doesn't have any towels. So she heads to the motel office in search of towels.
Can I take these on the counter?
Which just so happens to have towels laid out right there on the main office desk. How convenient. Seriously, that is incredibly convenient for a hotel. She should leave a good review on Google just for that.
Can I help you?
Oh my god. You scared me.
Well, maybe just stick to grabbing the towels instead of the hand candy and you don't gotta worry about nobody being scared.
Can I take these?
Yes, you can have those towels. Is your husband back yet?
He's not my husband.
Sis, it turns out she is 9 months pregnant with a bastard! And yes, that was actually the plan, because the wedding they're missing tonight is not their own. Thus, she grabs her towels and heads back, all the while being stared down by Red, played by Scott Osborne. But just who is he?
Son, come here.
He is Daddy's boy! As in...
There's your chance to make up for all that bullshit you've caused this family.
No, they never get into specifics or even remotely allude to what they could be talking about there. Daddy hands him that gun from earlier and tells him...
Be creative.
The fuck did that kid look like to you, Hickok 45? With that, they send him off while Daddy hangs back and yucks it up with Dusty, played by Robert Allen Hughes. But what is Tara up to? Probably the most tame shower scene in all of cinema. As we could expect, this is when Red shows up, and he's got that knife? That is one way to be creative about it. But as he approaches, she suddenly prepares to get out of the shower, so he runs like hell!
Shane? Is that you?
And somehow she misses the big fucking clown fumbling around her room, falling over the floor. And somehow he teleports out of there and flips a switch, killing the power to that room, and that room specifically. All the while, she is none the wiser. She does realize there is a clown poof ball here that was not here before. Where did it come from? Well, at least while the TV's busted, we can spend some time watching the latest sitcom to rock the nation, Clown and Hooker. But suddenly there's a knock on the door. Or after a couple of clothing transitions, but I think suddenly would be scarier. This clown has arrived and offers her towels.
I see the motel office has power. My room doesn't.
It's an old motel, but I'd be more than happy to take a look for you if you just open the door.
I'll wait for my boyfriend to get back.
I know, I just realized something. Red got into that room while the chain was latched and fucked everything up, ran like hell, left, and then changed the thing again after he left? Or was it actually that he latched it and then teleported out of there? But where could Shane be? Great, we're gonna find out by watching things from his perspective. Movie, I already went through this timeline once. Please don't make me do it again. Guess what? Turns out mere minutes after Shane left, he got a call from fellow shitty car salesman, played by Hans Potter, about, hey, you're too late. The sale fell through.
I mean, it's not my fault. The company, if they can't get the prices cheap enough that they can't match, that's not my fault. What the
You don't even love that girl.
Damn, was he watching the movie too? Surprise! Turns out that his coworker knows that Shane has been cheating on Tara. But with who?
Hey.
Christina! Who could have guessed? I mean, as usual, we don't exactly have a large cast, so it's either her or the hooker, so probably a lot of you could have guessed. But since he already said he'd be gone for a few hours, just because he has no work to go to doesn't mean he can't stop by Christina's place for a bit of wine and therapy, explaining to her about how this deal was so important, a lot was riding on it, and now it's boned. Hearing this, she leaves for a moment to slip into something more comfortable. And I wouldn't normally say this, but good on you for leaving that robe on over the lingerie. I mean, as an actress, you gotta pick and choose which roles you're gonna bear all for, so don't let that be fucking clown motel vacancies. So they make out. But wait! Shane has suddenly decided, you know what? I do in fact love Tara, and should not be boning her beautiful best friend babe behind her back.
Shane, wait. Shane, wait, you have lipstick.
Well, it would have been nice if that makeout scene was the only clue that something was going to happen later. But sure, just tell the audience, hey guys, Tara's gonna notice that lipstick on his collar, so just watch out for that coming out, okay? Still gonna be a while before that happens, though, because on the way back, wouldn't you know it, Shane was so busy getting busy, he completely forgot about the fact that the car had about a half a thimble of gas in it. Now, of course, the smart thing to do would be call for help, or a tow, or something, anything. So, of course, instead, Shane just decides to walk randomly into the woods and, hope it's gonna work out, I guess. But what's this? The random hooker randomly appears at this random spot. How random.
fuck? Okay, hey, I'm gonna get some help, okay?
Shane, you have your phone. This whole region has been well established to have service, plenty of service. You could call for help right now. Please, man, you got options here. You could try wiping that on a tree, on some leaves, on your pant leg, anywhere that doesn't look like you just gutted someone. But where does this path lead? Why, right back to Clown Motel, of course. All roads lead to Clown Motel. As such, he doesn't go to the reception looking for help, but just barges his bloody ass into room 13 to scare the crap out of Tara, as if him saying, "It's not my blood," is in any way reassuring. Somehow, that's not bothering her, but they must call the police.
Okay, actually, no, here. Use mine.
Well, why the fuck can't she use her phone? She was calling you fine earlier.
Just
Use my phone. It's in my pocket. What the fuck are you doing? Grab the...
what's on your collar?
It's blood, I told you. If I got fucking blood over me.
It's that lipstick.
Oh, but she spots the lipstick. Somehow, this situation now, it really should not be her top priority. And besides, he's got a great alibi all of a sudden. Hey, the random hooker ran into me in the woods, probably rubbed off right there, boom. It'd be a lie, but it's an airtight lie. So of course he doesn't say that, and she ignores the horrors she's faced and the blood all over Shane to focus solely on the lipstick.
Do I know her?
Considering you've had contact with literally every single character in this movie other than Hans the salesman, there's a pretty good chance.
You and I are supposed to have a baby.
Nothing.
We're supposed to have a baby together.
Tara, nothing.
Psycho clowns everywhere. Man covered in blood talking about how there's a dead woman in the forest. Perhaps look at the big picture here. Eventually, he gets her to take his phone to call the cops, but wouldn't you know it, all the phones magically have no service at all of a sudden. Don't you just hate it when that happens? Well, this plot is going nowhere, so there's a knock on the door. I guess these killer clowns are like vampires and just refuse to come in uninvited. Shane opens up like, "What's up?" and a clown attacks. Yes, that is Shane being brutally stabbed by a horrifying killer clown. This is about as exciting as the horror gets in this movie. Enjoy it. If you can. Her baby daddy being killed right in front of her, the door wide open, Tara decides to say fuck it and leave. Then it gets even dumber. Dusty could just finish him off, but why do that when he too could just say fuck it and leave? Leaving Shane with the gun. I guess when Red teleported out of there earlier, it was one of those Terminator teleports where you can't bring weapons with. Therefore, Miss I'm too pregnant to sit in the lobby for an hour goes for a nice high-energy nature hike outside the Clown Motel, playing a little hide-and-seek with the clowns as they close in. But what's this? Red has found Tara, and he intends to kill her. Not because he really wants to.
I don't want to do this, but I have to do this.
It sounds like me watching this movie. Quite especially the way he just repeats that phrase over and over until you really get to wanting them to just kill her and get it over with already. But she interjects like, "I get the sense you don't really want to do this. How about, you don't?"
Just go. Go that way and don't look back.
Hey, I'm just thinking, maybe this scene could have had some serious tension to it if he didn't spend the entire time talking about how he did not want to kill her. But what's this? The dead hooker is in fact not dead.
Shane said you were dead.
Well, I guess my job here's done.
Joke's on you. I was only pretending to be dead. It turns out she was in fact working for the clowns all along. You see, when she was in the parking lot talking with the clowns, that was just her way to throw Tara off the trail. So that later, when Shane randomly ran into the woods at a random point that no one could have predicted, and she just so happened to also be there at the exact same time with no way of tracking him, covered in blood for no apparent reason, and pretending to die in his arms, that would be the perfect way to throw Tara off when she runs in this direction, also kind of at random. And I'm just saying, this is some serious 5D chess going on here.
Well done, Mama. Well done.
Oh, and she's played by Brooke Walker. And her character name is Trixie, not Mama.
Why?
Good question. Motivations really are the driving force in stories. Yes, you have the conflict, which involves the characters, but the character's motivation drives the conflict. So what do you got?
Why not?
Why not? Well, for one thing...
This is illegal, you know.
And then, of course, there's the fact that running a motel is kind of expensive, and this doesn't seem like that great of a business model. I mean, your Yelp reviews have to be terrible. And, generally speaking, from a neutral perspective, people, don't really like killing. I mean, if you have a shred of sympathy, it's kind of an unpleasant experience. Near instantaneously, the rest of the crew is here, even the ones who would clearly rather not. And then we get to asking the real questions.
Why?
Why? Again!
Why am I doing this? Or why am I not a clown?
You aren't? I mean, are you sure? I mean, I'm just saying that with all that makeup, you kind of... Enough waffling around, it's time for the main event. So Daddy asks Red for the gun. But he lost it. Whoopsie. Well, only one thing to do now.
You'll never make a mistake.
Get impaled by an unconvincing prop with poorly edited, cheap special effects. So, new plan. Now Dusty gets to kill Tara. Again, with a knife and with the vague instructions to be creative. Well, let me tell you, I've seen plenty of slasher movies, and if you think a 3-inch dig into the abdomen is being creative, I got some bad news for you. But wait! Shane is here to dive in at the last second and save Tara, being stabbed instead. 3 inches in his abdomen. But quick question, Shane. You have the gun, right? Why the fuck didn't you use it? Well, so that he can tell Tara about the gun, of course. So she grabs the thing and shoots the rest of them to death. Well, that was easy. Or was it?
She's getting away. She's heading for the road.
Okay, one girl on the road, and cell phones are working again all of a sudden. Okay, I gotcha. Therefore, Tara makes it to the road and flags down the first car she sees, hopping in without a second thought. Introducing the writer-director Jason Mills, who plays Happy. And Jason, quick suggestion here. This scene would probably work a little better with tinted windows. We've also got Pappy here, played by Paul Mills. But now what's gonna happen to Tara? Well, at least this time we're skipping ahead in the movie. Seems in all this time the clowns have kept her alive. For some reason. And the baby! For some other reason. They were all murder happy for the last hour of film, but now, why should they kill her? Just leave her handcuffed to the bed, while they continue to watch far better horror movies than this one. And the handcuff is loose. They didn't show her jimmying it, or picking it, or breaking it, or even had a sound effect to show it unlatching, so I'm just gonna go ahead and assume it's been loose this entire time and it took her a year to check. Grabbing some handy-dandy broken glass, she stabs Pappy to death, as well as Happy. Then, scooping up her baby, she heads off to leave. But what's this? Daddy is still alive, and watching. Fuck it, it's over. It doesn't need an ending. Oh, jeez. Anyway, that was Clown Motel Vacancies. And to be perfectly blunt, the quality level of the other Clown Motel horror movies I've seen kind of set me up for disappointment with this one. It's not like clown horror is a particularly high bar to pass, but holy hell, this was a chore to get through. I'm saying that despite the fact that the movie is barely 70 minutes long. There's just so much nothing going on and a pretty distinct lack of clown aspects to the clown horror, making it simply be a slow, boring horror flick. Beyond the story and pacing issues, though, there is of course the fact that the acting is most definitely leaving a lot to be desired. Truth be told, most of the cast was at least passable amateur, but our lead and especially Shane were just so dry and plain in their performances, when it really felt like the words they were saying were meant to be spoken with different inflections, or, any inflections. Then on top of all of that, the editing and cinematography is pretty damn jank. Somehow not the worst I've seen, but keeping company in that circle of cinema hell. Believe it or not, it gets worse. The sound mixing. You know, it's gotta be bad if I, of all people, complain about the sound mixing. The lack of ambient backtracks is the least of our problems. At one point, they decided to simply cut all audio in some parts, which is extremely jarring when you hear staticky dialogue, dead silence, then back and forth a dozen times over a minute. So, yeah, this one was a chore to get through. Bare bones plot with uninteresting characters being poorly acted in a jankily cut flick with audio mixed from hell. That's Clown Motel Vacancies in a nutshell. Coming in at 1 close-up torso stab out of 5. I know there's a sequel, actually, and the law of probability says it's bound to be better, like, most likely, but I really don't want to find out. Thank you all for watching. I've been Dr. Shado. And remember, stop fucking your baby mama's best friend. You'll never survive a horror movie that way.
Why not?
Also, I want to do another one of these little video bumpers just to get this out. I did review a Clown Motel horror movie that was, still kind of rough around the edges, but I had fun with it. Clown Motel, aka Clown Motel Spirits Arise. That one is indie, it is very rough, but it also has some aspects that actually shine through that. And for one thing, it is actually filmed on location at the real Clown Motel, so it's got that going for it. Algorithmically selected recommended video. Options! We have options here.